Hello, bronies, it's me, Clayton, and I just got out of seeing the most recent My Little Pony episode known as Royal Problems. Now, if you're like me, you've always wanted a Luna and Celestia episode, simply because their relationship as sisters hasn't really been explored that much, other than a few references here and there and a little comedy bit in this episode's slice of life. Well, this is the episode that finally lets us know what their dynamic is outside of their usual appearances, and as such, it's a thoroughly entertaining episode that gives us nice information on these sisters' relationship, and it also provides an exciting adventure about two sisters trying to reconcile. So let's begin. This episode revolves around Starlight Glimmer, as she was called by the Cutie Map to resolve a friendship problem in the Royal Palace. And of course, the friendship problem revolves around Luna and Celestia, who try their best to have the other sister appreciate them, but they really haven't been doing a very good job with it. So, after getting involved in an argument, Starlight decides to switch their cutie marks to see if they can work, their jobs well with each other. If they can do each other's jobs so they can appreciate their work. Sure enough, Celestia's work is a lot harder than Luna thought, and the same goes for Celestia doing Luna's work. Especially when it involves an epic fight scene in the dream world that revolves around two characters that I will not bring up because that would be spoilers. So that's all I'll say about the story without spoiling anything. So, what did I like about this episode? Well, pretty much the premise itself is great. Celestia and Luna haven't really gotten a lot of character development outside of a few episodes. I mean, we had a few episodes revolving around Luna, but none really about Celestia. So it's nice to see her being treated as not as infallible as she usually is, and not as, a troll like she usually is. She actually is given a character that's allowed to have both positive and negative traits, and you're able to root for her because you see a side to her that we haven't really seen that much of before. I could say the same thing for Princess Luna, but we have seen her have a damaged side, and we've even seen her in a rather controversial situation in the episode where she faced Tartarus. This isn't the case in this episode, as she actually ends up just as good as Celestia. And them working through each other's problems is a good source of comedy, and it's also a good source of getting the episode's message out of the way. That you should always appreciate what another person is doing, even if you think it's easy, because if you're in their shoes, it may be way harder than it looks. All the characters were done very well throughout. Nicole Oliver always does a great job voicing Celestia, and it's nice to see her give Celestia a bit more emotional range in this episode. And the same can be said for Tabitha St. Germain, who does her typical great job as Princess Luna, balancing comedy and drama pretty much effortlessly. Also, Tara Strong has quite a few laughs as Twilight in this episode, as she actually sneaks in with Starlight Glimmer to give her some advice while disguised as a little ballerina toy. I think that's a Swan Princess reference, but I'm not entirely sure, or maybe it's a Nutcracker reference. Either way, it's really funny. Also, Starlight Glimmer, it makes sense for her to make the gut decision right out of the blue, because we need to remember that Starlight Glimmer is still learning. So she's still going to make mistakes. She's still going to make decisions without thinking things entirely through. So, seeing as that character has been fully established over these last few seasons, it makes sense why she'd go for an idea like this. I probably would make the exact same decision if I was in her position. So, like I said, the comedy in the episode's great, the drama is great, and the animation is actually spectacular. Whether it's the facial expressions that all the ponies have, or a new look at the dream world that we get. There's even a bit of an action scene near the end of the episode that's really well done. It's not one of the absolute best animated episodes of the series, but for an episode that's in the middle of the season that I didn't expect to be that great, this episode's animation was actually really stellar. So Joanna Lewis and Christine Sonko wrote this episode, and I can see why they've been taking a bigger role in the production of the show. They clearly get these characters, they clearly understand how to write them, and they clearly know how to make entertaining episodes both funny and dramatic. So yeah, this is probably one of my favorite episodes of the season. I give Royal Problems a 9.5 out of 10. See you next time.